John and Rachel romance love story episode last. Perfect surprise. Wasim repeated Rachel's exact words to him. But still, man, just take the suit, I'll wear something else. John was now protesting in full force. Come on, bro! Why are you always the biggest enemy of your own happiness? Put on the suit. You still have to pick Rachel up from the parlor and drop her straight to the hall. Look, man, I understand how you're feeling right now. But this is your last chance to impress your sister. Who knows? She might change her mind. Wasim winked at John with a mischievous smile. John felt as if Wasim was teasing his helplessness. He looked back with angry eyes. Brother, let's save this death for later. Anyway, I'll drop the guests and the rest of the family in the hall. As for his busy preparing, Rachel just called. She's all set. So you go get her and quickly go to the hall. Now go get ready, Wasim continued, completely ignoring John's frustration. No way, I'm not picking her up. You bring her yourself. What kind of brother are you? 1 minute you're sending your sister with her future husband. The next day you're asking me to pick her up. You should do this. Shameless man. John handed it to him straight away, but Wasim's thick skin didn't even move. Yes, brother. I'm shameless, and there's no cure for it. So zip it up, get dressed, and go get Rachel. Before John could argue any further, his mother walked in. Wasim's son, you haven't given John his dress yet? Hurry up and hand it over. Everyone is waiting downstairs. We are already late. He saw the suit in Wasim's hand, which John had just returned, and spoke quickly. Wasim quickly handed the suit back to John and slipped away. Son, you also get ready quickly. You have to pick up Rachel. She is waiting. Bring her straight to the hall, Mother ordered and left. John entered the bathroom, took a quick shower, and changed. Although his heart was not entirely in it, he looked incredibly handsome. He grabbed the car keys and went out. When he reached the parlor, Rachel looked absolutely stunning. She was sitting happily on a sofa. John silently led her inside with a mixture of emotions. Time stood still for a moment. The two looked at each other, their eyes telling 1,000 untold stories of love and longing. It felt as if a beautiful spell had wrapped itself around them. The moment was broken when Rachel blushed and looked down. John's heart skipped a beat at her sweet gesture. Before he could lose control, he quickly looked away and said softly, "Shall we go?" Rachel nodded and stood up. He gently held her arm for balance as they walked out. "I'm not very comfortable in these high heels," she explained with a faint smile. John just took a deep breath and nodded. They reached the car. Rachel quietly sat in the passenger seat as John began to drive down the hall. The car was filled with a comfortable silence, the kind that says more than words can. John kept glancing at her. She was dying today. "Are you okay?" John finally broke the silence. Rachel looked at him in surprise. "About what?" "All this. Everything that's happening. Are you really happy?" There was real pain in his voice. Rachel looked down. "Happiness and sadness don't mean much to me anymore. John, some decisions are made by circumstances, and some are for the sake of family honor." John quickened a little, as if trying to outrun the storm inside him. "Family honor, or destroying your life. John, you know Please stop, John." His voice trembled. "That time has passed. Now I'm going to be someone else's." The car stopped in front of the hall. Wasim was already there, greeting everyone. Rachel gave John one last look before going inside. Wasim put his hand on John's shoulder. "Smile, brother. What will people say?" "They will say exactly what you want them to say," John replied coldly. Inside the hall, everything was magical. Lights, flowers, and happy chatter filled the air. John's heart beat faster as the wedding ceremony approached. It felt almost surreal when the papers were signed. John silently thanked God that Rachel was finally his. Forever. The surprise from everyone made the moment even more special. Rachel had teased him a lot about everything that had happened before. So John decided it was time for a little payback. After the ceremony, she playfully ignored him throughout the photo session. He barely looked at her until the photographer asked. Rachel sat there in annoyance. Her earlier excitement had turned to pure disappointment. By the time all the guests had left and they returned home, John had already dropped her off in the hall and was back alone. Rachel was fuming. She wanted to give him a piece of her mind. Everyone got home later in the evening. John quickly changed, said a prayer of thanks, and then headed out to treat his friends. He had accidentally posted the wedding photos on his WhatsApp status, and his friends had flooded him with congratulations and demands for invitations. Rachel was waiting for him to get home so she could properly scold him, but John was not forthcoming. He returned around 11 p.m., telling his mother not to wait for dinner because they had already eaten. Everyone else was asleep. John went straight to his room, freshened up, and lay down on the bed. After a while, he smiled to himself and thought, why not go and say goodnight to his wife? It was almost midnight. He quietly went into Rachel's room. The door was open and the lights were on. Rachel was pacing back and forth, clearly waiting. John entered quietly and closed the door behind him. Rachel's anger flared as soon as she saw him. Why are you here now? And why do you look so rude? She said in a low but firm voice with clear resentment. 3 times is enough. It's impossible to understand your mood swings. John remained cool. I ignored you for a while and you can't handle it. Meanwhile, I've put up with this behavior, from you and the whole family, for a whole week without complaining. So what? People take it so badly without saying a word. And why are you in my room right now, by the way? First, I wasn't crying. I was just answering you both. Second, I've already thanked God, and will continue to do so. And third, he moved closer, his voice soft and romantic. I wanted to make a proper peace with my wife. Listen to her a little bit, and tell her a few things too. Rachel stepped forward, then backed away. Soon her back was against the wall. John gently placed his arms on either side, playfully blocking her path. The romantic bug inside you. Kill it now or it won't be okay, Rachel warned in a shaky voice. Her confidence was completely gone. John smiled, clearly enjoying her worried reaction. No, Rachel darling, this worm will stay with me for the rest of my life. What's with the darling? She muttered, half annoyed, half happy. From today on, you are my soulmate, and if you resist any longer, I will come up with 10 more nicknames. Okay, I won't resist. But can you please step back a little while we talk? Wow, you're such a good girl now, John teased. Otherwise, this romantic side of mine might fully awaken. And then you'll be responsible for whatever happens. Rachel quickly gave her a gentle pinch on the cheek to stop her from teasing him any further. John smiled warmly. Thank you. He pulled a beautiful ring from his pocket, slipped it onto her finger, and placed a soft, respectful kiss on her forehead. Good night, he said softly, and turned to leave. Wait, Rachel's voice interrupted him. He turned back. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry too. I know I've made you so worried so much, she said, blushing. Thank you is perfect. But there's no need to apologize. John smiled, pulled her into a warm hug, and said goodnight again before leaving. From that day on, a lifetime of love, laughter, and happiness awaited the two of them. May Allah grant everyone a life full of happiness and smiles. Amen. Dear viewers, this was a beautiful romantic ending to the John and Rachel's love story. Tell me in the comments, what kind of love stories do you like the most? Sweet and emotional, full of drama, or light and fun? If you liked this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you again in the next story. Take care. Goodbye.